I wanted to ask you, I mean, what keeps you going? What keeps you, I mean, every morning when you wake up, what sort of motivates you to keep doing this visionary work, considering that, most people out there, as you mentioned yourself, in the corporate world or even, in life out there, don't have uh, either time or concern for global issues like this. I mean, even local issues, let alone global issues. What keeps you going and keeps you motivated every morning, every week when you do whatever you do, mashallah, with Shift?
And I think I can say this for this audience is, of course, is rooted in faith, right? Like a big part of the motivation is, look, at the end of the day, I'm trying to go to Allah with something that I've done that has had impact on people in a positive way, right? And that's the honest answer. And typically when I give these interviews with other outlets, I can't say that because they don't really understand what I'm trying to say. But with you and this audience, I can say that, it's really rooted in faith, and that's a big motivator, of course. The other thing is, and it's hard to put in words, but it's something inside you that, for me, I want to make sure that I can leave the world a better place, and that I can have that positive impact on someone else's life. And there are many, many ways to do that. I'm not trying to suggest that everyone needs to start a nonprofit or that everyone needs to do something huge. But, I think everyone deep down does have that desire of wanting to help other people who are less fortunate. And so there's kind of, the first thing is having that mindset of you want to have an impact and you actually care about some of these problems, which I think a lot of people, because of how much we take in terms of just the overload of these issues that we see, we become desensitized to it. I think Hassan Minhaj, who's a comedian, he had this famous analogy where he said it's like we have an internet browser open with too many tabs, and each tab is like a problem, and we have to close some of these tabs so that we can think properly. I agree. I think we're becoming desensitized because we're just taking in so much. So I think the first part is being more conscious of what you're looking at. Actually stopping to think about, okay, this person is talking about this issue and this petition, and let me think about what that really means, rather than just kind of scrolling past it. So the first is the mindset and the concern. And I do think most people deep down have that concern. I think it just gets buried with the amount of information we take in, which one, desensitizes us, but two, we also feel helpless because it's just so much. So yeah, the mindset is important. I think people do have that concern deep down inside, but they have to learn to actually act on it. And then the second thing is for motivation. For me, I said it was rooted in faith and wanting to have impact. But for other people, it's all sorts of motivations. People want to, they feel like this is the way to happiness, right? For a lot of people, that's their motivation. They think that giving back is the only way they can attain true happiness and contentment, which again is another philosophical discussion. But my point being, people have different motivations.
Yep.
Every person listening to this should think about what works for them.
Absolutely.
Right? What works for me, what gets me up in the morning, is going to be very different than what works for you. Some people I've spoken to, they say, their biggest motivator is their kids. They see their kids and they say, I want to make sure the world is better for them. Or I think about other children that don't have what they have. And, I want to make sure that inequality doesn't exist. So everyone has different motivations. You need to, and they definitely exist. You just need to find out what it is that sparks that within you, and then make sure you hold on to that and really, strike when the iron is hot. There are times in our life when we feel really passionate about something. You have to do it then, because if you let that kind of fire extinguish, it's very hard to bring it back sometimes.